Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, March 7, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be having a reverse aging health call Friday night, tomorrow night. We're going to talk about some things that are on the horizon. I won't talk much about anything that we have just been introduced to since I have not used it. So I'm not going to represent anything for the betterment of humanity unless I've used it, period. So there's only a few things, believe it or not, that we choose. We either bump into them and discover them, or we become aware of them for ourselves as far as our self-discovery. And we could, you talk to people ongoing basis for generations and lifetimes, and you realize that only when they are accepting of who and what they are will they discover it. It does not matter what any of us say, do at all. It is embedded in the genetic makeup of these bodies. It's for us to discover or rediscover, however you choose to see it, what we are, period. And this is the pinnacle of the actual shift and evolution of humanity, of this civilization. I don't use humanity much because there's so many different versions of us. There's the human hybrids, and you've heard the term Homo sapien. There's the human hybrids. I mean, there's so many different versions of us on this planet. That people, I don't believe that a lot of people even know that. They think it's all a bunch of conspiracy stuff. Maybe in a way that's not bad, okay, that they're closed-minded about those things. But see, as we come out of our, let's put it this way, as we come out of our caves, where we become much more cognizant because we choose to be more cognizant and we choose to be more aware of who and what we are, because, as I've said, all of us have had many lifetimes. It's what we do. We physically, we enter physical forms and we experience. Create everything, we experience all this, and that's what we do. Unfortunately, with our situation on this planet, and it's proven, see, it's not hearsay, because we all know this. Those of us who are aware to a certain extent, we know this because now remember this, see, you leave the body, and at first you're kind of disoriented because you're not even sure, you don't believe that you're not in physical form. I know that sounds strange. Even when you're looking at your body, right? My sister, who passed several years ago, she had a very complicated pregnancy, and so she was on the operating bed, or I guess you want to call it bed, table, whatever, and she had passed for a moment. She was, I can't remember the name they used, the terminology, but she had iron-poor blood. She was anemic. There we go. So her body wasn't strong enough because of having a child, and so she left the body for a short period of time, and she was hovering above the body, like up by the ceiling. She noticed herself, she was looking down at her body. She couldn't figure out why she was out of the body, because she thought she was the body. And so she was looking at, here's all the doctors and everybody working on her body, trying to get her to come back, okay, resuscitate her, so to speak. And so she was there watching everything. And she wasn't sure if she was, you know what I mean, real, like physical, like flesh and blood. She thought she was. She couldn't understand why that body was there on that bed. But then she came back in because they resuscitated her, and it wasn't, she just didn't care to permanently leave the body. So what happens to us, and I've talked with numerous NDE, near-death experience, and they'll have a memory of that, see, when they go back in the body. And now that memory will stay with them. But the interesting thing is that we have no memory coming or going. None of us do. Oh, there are some breakthroughs. Okay, and you've read you've probably seen books about somebody who remembered their past life and what they did and what happened and that type of thing. Very few, but there are some on occasion. But for the most of us, we lose our memories and everything leaving and then coming back into another body. We don't. All of our lifetimes are kind of blanked out. So it gets frustrating for many of us who get to a discovery base where we understand that, okay, so why are all of my past lives removed? How come I cannot access them? They were my lives. I was the one inside, was the God inside all those bodies. So why are they being kept from me? This question has been posed quite a few times. And it is because that there's so many different energies, beings, okay, doing different things. Some of them have a reason, others don't have any reason. They just do it, okay? This area of the galaxy, and maybe more, this quadrant, there is an assembly of beings that have been doing this for long, billions of years. No one really knows how long they've been doing it. And they zap us. They zap us gods, not the body. And it's a very powerful zap. Okay? And so you go over the other side, which is what we all know is a matrix. It's an illusion. It's all created to keep us in this cycle, right? So we go in, and we're usually met, like I've said, by somebody, someone who, and sometimes you don't recognize them, but you're met by somebody to help you, so to speak, cross over. It could come from a past life, but you did know them, and then if you don't know them as you're crossing over, because maybe it's from a past life. Anyway, you cross over. You're carrying your body, which is just part of the trick. So you can carry your body, and then you go in and you meet, relatives, long gone. All of your pets, everything, all there. Everybody's there. And you're seduced because you're so elated to see all these different people that you knew in that lifetime and other lifetimes. They're all there, and they're smiling and everything, and you just kind of get sucked into it. And you just don't really challenge the fact that you've been zapped again, okay? And so then you review things, and you decide that you're going to, because you don't have a memory. Okay? Then when you decide to go into another body, have another life experience, right? They zap you on the way there. So you don't remember going on the other side. You don't remember that. So you start from scratch every single time. Now, what's happened And we, like I said, we have no idea how long this has been going on. Even families from other species and civilizations that happen to kind of pass through this quadrant of the galaxy, their souls can be, they take their souls right out of their bodies. And so what's changed? Is this cycle going to end? Yeah, it's going to end. There are machinery, there are processes and everything. It's a tremendous amount of resources to do that, to shut them down. Tremendous amount of resources. But it is now in play. And will it happen, in another week or something? No. But it is in play to take that whole system down. Some people can access their past lives. I know just about every past life I've been in. I don't refer them a lot. I don't care to. There are some that I look at things that I did then that I don't do now. Because of that, I don't do now. And we've all been there. It's not like we do a little small area of life experience. We do it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the joyous, the blissful, all of it. We do it all. But now it's going to start happening is that you will recall, and it's not like you'll know which life it is, but you'll recall. You'll just all of a sudden be reviewing a past life. And a lot of people are excited about it, but you also, as we know, to finally have that access, there's a great amount of responsibility for every one of us. So now if you took people that are asleep and they began to be able to access their past lives, you just don't know. It's never been done before. Don't know how people are going to respond. Okay? This is why in these meditations, these guided meditations, this is why we're doing what we're doing. It is you prepare yourself. And you're preparing yourself by going within and discovering that you are the God source, the kingdom of God. You're all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And once you begin to embrace that and understand it, and then what do? We begin to leave the ego mind alone. We begin mastering it. We don't judge it, we watch it. And as we watch it, we learn. We learn how it operates. We learn when it has thoughts that come in that we embrace as our own. We think that they're our own. And then we start learning that's an ego mind thought, and I'm not interested in engaging with it, period. And you can tell when the ego mind always comes in, I'll tell you why. You start to worry, stress, and fear. That's a dead giveaway. Whatever it may be. You may not be that. You may not be doing that. But then all of a sudden it starts happening. It might be a day comes by and all of a sudden you start worrying. You start having that gut feeling, that uneasiness and stuff. And now you're empowered because you know it's the ego mind. And the ego mind's insecure. Never satisfied. It's always insecure, highly insecure. That's why so many people that you may meet along the way on this planet are very insecure. And their ego minds are in charge of them. And they're never satisfied. And their gratitude doesn't seem to be there. So this is how people worry, stress, and fear and anxiety about everything. And and then immediately, if that comes in, you say, the ego mind is doing what it can to manage me. And I'm not interested in engaging in that. So I will go into the now. Which means you'll leave the ego mind alone, you go in the now. And you practice this. And the more you practice it, the more you start to identify. You're not judging the ego mind. It's not your enemy. But you start to identify these thoughts that come in. That's ego mind thought. If it's uneasy, if you feel kind of insecure, worried, or stressed or fearful, ego mind. Every single time. That's how it operates. When you doubt things, ego mind. You protect the ego mind. So you get in arguments with people because you're protecting the ego mind. Okay? So this is transition. And this is what's happening now in these meditations, after half a dozen years, that people are starting to realize that, okay, so I'm discovering because I'm choosing to discover what I am. I'm learning that I'm not the body. Deeply grateful for the body because it carries around the God that I am so I can experience physical material life. And then we learn that everything is temporary. So see, we're not spooked and we're not scared because then we're back in ego mind. And when we know that the ego mind exists in yesterday and tomorrow and never in the now, we know how to maneuver that. We know. You're not running away from it. You're just not interested in having it over you. You're just not interested in it. And you begin, slowly but surely, master the ego mind. When you master the ego mind and it serves you, it's a whole different ballgame. It doesn't serve you the way it was mastering you. Okay, it's a different direction. And whatever it tries to intervene, you say, I love you, ego mind, but you're not in charge here. Period. And after a period of time, the ego mind no longer is trying to master you. And the majority of the people on this planet are deeply mastered by their ego minds. That's why we have conflict. That's why we have disagreements. That's why everybody wants to be right. All this stuff is ego mind. Because you have bazillions of dollars, it's never enough, and you never have enough, and you always want more. But you won't help other people with it. You hoard it because you're always afraid that you're going to lose it, no matter how much it is. Crazy, isn't it? That's why when we understand that we, all of us, are the ones that have orchestrated through the collective consciousness this massive shift on this planet. That's it. And it's not out there, it's in here. Now, I'm not saying that the majority of people are very clear on that and say, well, we've done this because of this. The civilization has been in a bondage for way too long. It was never intended that way. So now the bondage is in chains and the shackles are going to be vaporized. And then we're going to move out of extinction and we're going to start creating a God-planet paradise. Heaven on earth. Because we are heaven. The gods that we are. And so we step foot, we're in these bodies, right? Bodies earth. Heaven on earth. So this transition is, whether you know it or not, you can feel it, see. Not necessarily see it yet, you feel it. It's not wishful thinking. You just know. You know. And you continually advance yourself into higher frequencies because you like the feeling. Motivational. You like the feeling. You imagine if any civilization, were to not like the way intercourse felt, right? We would be extinct before we knew it. That's why it has to feel good. Doesn't feel good, why would we do it? It's true. And we're bringing in all this light. We've created the photon energy field. And you're talking, collective consciousness, all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, forever. Zeroed in on this planet, eliminate the infestation of pure evil once and for all completely. And this comes from all of us and the collective consciousness which we're part of. Pure consciousness. So we've deemed it and determined that no longer will this planet be infested with pure evil and all the craziness. It's being completely eliminated. And a crucial part is that we continue to ascend. We don't just do it temporarily and everything's, good and wonderful, God, planet, paradise. We continue to ascend. That's why this photon energy field we're going through will be around for over 2,000 years. That's quite a few generations. And this gives us time for the ascension, transcendence as a people. And it helps us understand what the heck we're here for. And it's not complicated at all. We're here to enjoy life. That's what we're here to do. And not a boring life, but a fun, adventuresome life. And how do you think everything is going to evolve when we continue to advance ourselves in higher and higher frequencies and begin to discover just how powerful we are and what we can manifest and what we create and what we experience? To know that rather than to say, that's not me. But it is. And we're given so many avenues throughout each life. Different primers, different things that kind of come along and wake us up. I mean, we have so many different avenues. Each one of us, might be different from Sam to Jane, but it's still it's different. But it's the message that comes across to us. And you might have this feeling that the God comes in and says, why do you want to do this? And you say to yourself, because it's fun. It's adventuresome. You do know that this is all temporary. Absolutely. See, we remind ourselves of these things. What does it do? It causes us to be much more focused on this life and not from a serious perspective. We enjoy it. That's the prime. Our prime directive is to enjoy life, to discover the gods that we are, and to know that we're supremely powerful, immortal being. We surrender attachments, we surrender expectations, but we're not. Remember I said it's a fine line. It's like we learn how to dance on that line with ease. When you surrender, you're not giving up anything. You're just letting it go. And the more things that we let go of, the more things will start showing up for us. And I know that really, how can that be? We were taught we got to go after things, and get this and do that. When all along, we don't have to do any of that. And things come in. And sure, there's times where we take action. There's other times things just happen out of the clear blue. And you say to yourself, where the heck did this come from? You won't say that anymore. You'll say, thank you, universe. And then you begin to really start enjoying things because your perspective is totally different. You realize that this life is temporary, and so every now moment is absolutely precious. You see, I've said this before. When you don't remember, okay, but you will start remembering, all of us. But the thing is that when you leave physical form, it's a whole different ballgame. And this is why this matrix tricks us into believing that we never did leave the body, that it's all kind of a facade, which is not true. This is why some of us will stay on the planet and believe that we're alive, and the ones that are trying to come into our house or live here, do this, are the ones that are ghosts, that aren't alive. You see how that works? It's true. And so people that say come into a house, right? And it's spooky because things start happening. You know, plate drops off a table, or you wake up and you got a scratch on your neck. You say, "Oh well, I probably did that myself." Or a scratch on your back, and then you go, "How did that get there?" Other things. We would have people report to us all kinds of stuff, and they weren't imagining it. It was real. So these souls believe that they're alive, and that you are the one that is trespassing on in their home. And this is why we have situations where you need a team of people to come in and basically inform those spirits that, no, you're no longer in physical form. You can leave. You don't. This is all superfluous. You have left material physical existence. Okay? Once they realize that, then they're gone. And, that's why it's so imperative when we're in physical form to learn that what? What are we going to learn? That we are the light. It's absolutely paramount. Because if you don't learn that, you're going to keep in that cycle until you discover that you're the light. The light is what traps us all. It starts us on this, getting zapped, and then we come back into another. We're zapped on the way in. We're zapped on the way out. And we're in that cycle. But when you realize, why would I go after the light when I am the light? See, at first it's kind of tricky, but then you realize that, no, I am the light. I'm not going to go for another light that's chasing me, because I am the light. And that's imperative that we learn that. However long it takes us, or how many lifetimes, that we actually learn that we are the light. That breaks the sequence. See? It ends it. And you, as a soul, are completely free. You're not being controlled. You're not being seduced. You're not being zapped anymore. And so you move freely. You constantly are moving freely. And you say, I would like to travel to the other end of the universe. I don't know what's there. This is you, right? Not your body, not the body. Yeah, but I'm just curious. I'd like to know what's there. So, quite frankly, like that, you're there. Now, this is all a discovery for every one of us to come to that understanding. So it's not like, people can just blink in and blink out right now because they have no clue even who and what they are. So it's a step-by-step process for every one of us. And we, every one of us, choose to do it. That's it. And that's because we are so powerful and we don't even know it. And so we then begin to realize that we've been programmed. Okay, so we've been programmed. We've been conditioned. Right? So what do we do about that? Well, we dump that stuff. And we forgive all those who programmed us because they didn't know any better, because they were programmed pretty much the same way. So then we start reprogramming ourselves, like the now, and the meaning of the now, and the meaning of focusing on the breath, and being still as a statue, and to relax into the body, and to listen to the breath rise and fall. That is the primer to all these other understandings of discovery. And see, then we decide we're not going to be in the show, in other words, the rat race. We might, step in here and there on occasion, but we've learned that we can leave it without issue. Because we started looking at everything from outside. We've been in it, right? Long time, many lifetimes. And now we've decided to look at the material physical life from the outside. In other words, commune and embrace the God that you are that's actually looking behind the eyes in that body. You see a storm coming, right? You say to yourself, this is after you have finally discovered who and what you are. You say to yourself, that storm could disrupt a lot of people. And so that you are the storm. Remember, you're all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. That's a fact. So you are the storm. So you look at the storm and say, to the storm, you don't need to be. And let's say the area is in a drought. Maybe has been for 20 years, 30 years. And so you take the power, the energy that actually creates the storm, and you repurpose the power into a nice soaking rain over the land. See? And can people do that now? Yeah, pretty much. But they don't believe in themselves, they don't have trust in themselves, and they don't have faith in themselves. And they don't believe the universe is almighty and powerful. They don't. See, that's why it isn't done. That's why it doesn't happen. And that's why these storms do what they do, whether they're man-made or they're just from natural occurrences. See, a lot of things are going to transform. Because of who? Because of us. When you have a group of beings that are pure evil, and that they will always perform evil in any lifetime, the collective consciousness brings them back in, and they're gone. That means the God that they are is gone. Been absorbed into the one, collective consciousness. That's what's happening to many of these pure evil ones. They leave the body, that's nothing. But what about the corrupted soul? the corrupted God, the pure consciousness, the corrupted pure consciousness. You've got to vaporize it. It's got to be absorbed back into the one. That's what's happened to so many. They'll never, ever again be able to incarnate because they no longer are. It's exciting for us at this stage on this planet in the 21st century to have discovered this day. And because we've chosen to discover it. We're not forced to, we're not tricked to, we're not manipulated to. We decide, every one of us, for ourselves. Which is a good thing. And then we start to drop more and more into the heart. And we start to understand what the ego mind is all about. And we start to understand why we worry, stress, and fear. And then we start to understand that the ego mind has mastered us from the beginning. Now we've discovered that's the case, so then we know how to master the ego mind by leaving it alone. And watching how it does. So you identify the thoughts that come in, you identify the uneasiness, you identify the worry, stress, and fear because you're mastered by the ego mind. Period. And it's really neat because we're so diverse across us all. And we're so wonderful and shining and bright and deep eternal love that it's off the charts. And so we ascend, we choose to ascend at higher frequencies of deep eternal love, kindness, gentleness for ourselves so that we can actually share that with everyone around us. You can feel it. You know, people say, well, how do you know? Well, go into meditation, you're going to feel it. It's phenomenal. It's at the center of your heart. It's a real warm feeling, and it comes out. It's not real easy to describe, but it's super blissful. And when that comes in from inside, it bubbles up. All of the things that you worry about, fear about, stress about, absolutely vanish. You're immersed in that bliss, that joy, that light that you are. And the more that you do it, the more you want to do it. This is how this civilization will transcend into higher and higher vibrational frequencies, because it starts to learn to love life, honor and love each other, love yourself, then love everyone else. And then we create balance, because what are we doing at that stage? Well, we're helping each other. And we're really enjoying it. You know, seeing someone smile genuinely, seeing someone that's happy, excited, that's it right there. There's nothing better than that. As far as I'm concerned, there isn't. You know, not the fake stuff, not when people, you know, you can tell they got a mask on and they're faking it, okay? But you know also when people are genuine and that smile is genuine and their appreciation and gratefulness is genuine. And that's what we're seeing with the God Planet universe, the God Planet Paradise, is that we will He'll be helping people all the time. No longer will people suffer. And I mean physically, okay? They choose to suffer emotionally. That's because they created it. And they can say, I don't care to experience this any longer. And it'll vanish. The love that we all are is the love that we are. It's who and what we are. Does it make any sense to any of us? That we have conflict and wars and, damaging and all this jank frequency? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. Well, when you have enough gods that are asleep, right? It can happen. But then you wake up and you decide, I don't care to have that around anymore. It's gone. Is this a happy planet? Yes, Gaia's happy. Everybody talks about how she's always upset and irritated because she's also in the photon energy field. Light energy, photon light. And so we have this wonderfulness that we're experiencing being saturated 24/7. You're being literally flooded, permeated, and saturated 24/7. Continuously. With pure, deep, eternal love. And it's this photonic light, photon energy light. Light energy. Saturating every part of that body and the God within. It's the deepest love, and it's the highest frequency, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And more of us are embracing the fact that we believe it's time that we go within and stay within. So in this quiet time of this meditation, go within, deeper than you ever have before. Join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy, easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. This universe is always supporting you. Pay careful attention to how this universe is conversing with you all the time. It's letting you know that you're never alone, even when you think you are. So don't be afraid to ask for guidance anymore. The ears of the universe are always listening and conspiring to provide you whatever your heart most sincerely desires. It's so comforting to know that this universe cannot stop listening. There is never a moment of your life that it doesn't deeply matter. That it matters all the time. Believe me, that universe, this universe, is our best friend. Always will be, always has been, ever, beyond, and forever. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into evening and night, following morning. We will return here Friday, March 8th, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on outside of you or within